For today, I asked you to read the chapter in your book on the comparison contrast essay. It goes over things like how to structure the essay, some good words and phrases you can use in transitioning from one point to another within the essay, and also talks about parallelism and the importance of using parallel structures as you're comparing things. In this presentation, I'm going to talk primarily about structuring the essay, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about the assignment for today, which is a sort of brief character analysis, not as a paper, but as, well, in two forms that I've created for you. First of all, there are basically two ways to organize a comparison paper. One is called the subject by subject method. Some textbooks call it the block method. That's when you use the first half of your essay to talk about one of your subjects and the second half of your essay to talk about the other subject. And of course, you try to cover the same elements for each subject. So I have an example here. If you were comparing restaurants using the subject by subject structure, you might use the first half of your essay to discuss Puckett's restaurant, and you might cover the elements, the atmosphere, the service, the menu, and then you would use the second half of your essay to cover another restaurant, say maybe Southern Tray, and you would talk about its atmosphere, its service, and its menu. It's always important to cover the same elements so that the comparison is meaningful. And when I say comparison, I also mean, comparing and contrasting, talking about similarities and differences in atmosphere, service, or menus, for example. The other way people structure a comparison essay is the point-by-point method. And this is the method that we will use in our essays. In point-by-point method, you consider each category that you're going to discuss, and you organize your paper so that you cover each category in a different section of the paper. And for each category, you discuss both subjects. So, for example, one category is atmosphere. You would have a paragraph or two about atmosphere, and you would talk about Puckett's atmosphere, and then you would talk about the atmosphere at Southern Tray. And then you would move on to your next point. Say it's service. You talk about service at Puckett's and service at Southern Tray. And then you move on to the next point, menu. Talk about the menu at Puckett's and the menu at Southern Tray. This is really easier for people. When you write your paper, you will be comparing two characters from the stories we read in class. You'll get to choose the characters. I've paired up different characters, and you'll choose from those pairings. I will also give you categories of comparison to choose from to try to help you out there. There will be some very specific instructions on your paper assignment. I'll tell you exactly how to do the introduction, give you some advice on the thesis statement and topic sentences, remind you of how to handle quotations and discussion. But first, I'm going to give you an assignment. This will count as a test grade. I'm going to ask you to complete a character analysis. It's not a paper, though you can, there can be essays that are character analyses. But in this case, I'm going to be giving you forms, and you're going to fill out a form for each character that you will be comparing in your paper. and it will help you prepare for your essay, for writing your essay, but it will also count as a test grade since we didn't get to have the test that I had been planning for us to have because of school cancellations. Instead of putting these instructions on the website, I'm going to send them to you in email. So you will have one document that is the instructions. It will include one page that is an example of what I'm looking for in the analysis, and there will be a second document which will contain 2 pages, one page for each character that you will analyze, and that will be due by noon tomorrow. That's Friday, March 27th. As for your essay assignment, that will be due 2 weeks from today. I'll post detailed instructions for that by the end of today. I'm still working on those. I'm trying to make them be very specific and walk you through things step by step since we're not able to have class. Next week would have been your spring break, and so I will not be giving any additional assignments for next week, but I will be available if you want to have me read a draft. You can send it to me. Just message me through Remind and let me know that you've sent me an email. Just share it. Don't try to put it in, turn it in. I'll be glad to review a draft sent to me, shared with me via email, and answer any questions that you have. So that's all for this presentation, and I apologize. This is the first time I've ever done one like this. I know it wasn't super fantastic, but maybe it'll do. Thank you. Bye.